Quirky ideas. People coming in and they want to, maybe somebody watching this video is, planning on something, going to do something. One segment earlier you talked about just something simple, that the menu now has the logo of the company. You have a couple of those neat tricks that you've pulled off that, become part of what you do. Can you share any without us tipping off your competition?
Well, I mean, that's one of them. That's a great tip that we didn't know when we first started, but if I was going to tell somebody out there that's running an incentive, even if they're doing it on their own, call the hotel. All you got to do is email down your logo. They'll do it. They'll put it on there, and they're not going to charge you, and it's going to just impress the heck out of all the
Anything else that's
participants.
kind of fun?
Well, other things on that same vein is you can have, welcome placards on their doors, or we did a cruise incentive, and all the cabin doors had a little sign with their names on it and their incentive trip of 2006 or whatever it was, and little souvenirs like that, because people actually take those home,
Yes.
And room drops are a great thing.
I remember the first time I
Room drops.
experienced a room drop was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, and they were part of the crew, and they didn't realize that we were the crew room, they switched our rooms, so I got this really cool, expensive gift that I promptly returned to the client and went, I'm sure this $100 room drop thing was not meant for me. And they went, you're right, thanks.
Well, when you're sort of on the inside, sometimes it's hard to know what the customer feels like, but I've actually been on the other side of it. Our agency won an incentive actually within our own industry, and I went on an incentive trip where they did room drops, and it was cool. Every night, you'd be at dinner. After the first night, you knew, there's going to be another room drop, another little gift there.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And I've actually even done the room drops with the hotel staff.
It's actually quite a choreography, isn't it?
Yeah. Dinner's only until so much. We got so many things.
Yeah.
The big cart. We're going down, and yep.
Always knock. So, sorry, last point. Because I remember this when somebody said they didn't knock, and it was like, oh my God. You're known as the Terminator.
That's because I get the terms I want in the contracts I negotiate for you. So
tell people why that's important.
Well, I mean, some people that haven't been in the industry or just starting out, they might get a contract from a hotelier or a supplier and think, well, that's it. Okay, I'll sign it. Here it is. It's got the right dates. It's got a rate. It's got my meeting space. I'll sign it. That's just the beginning. It can take days or weeks or months to go back and forth and negotiate a contract, but it has to work for both sides. So you have to make sure that what you're getting, for your side, you're also giving good business to the supplier as well, so they're getting it in turn.
Why do they do this game, Peter?
Well, because they can. I mean, and I'm sure when they send out a contract to us, if we've never dealt with them before, they think, it's a travel agency. They won't know.
Right.
That they'll just accept it, and lots of people do. If they're sending it directly to a client that's not dealing with a professional meeting planner, I'm sure they just think, well, that's just the way it works.
Here's the rate, and then some may balk a bit, but this whole industry is based on negotiations.
Well, and it's not just price either. There's so many other things
Right.
That come into play. There's attrition levels, there's comp levels, your deposit levels, your cancellation penalties, what portion of it can be considered as part of a penalty. So there's so many terms that go into it.
There's also things that I've heard of from some of the friends I know in the industry also talk about that what the food and beverage piece is going to be. Mm-hmm. And the food and beverage piece is going to be such an important part of it that you go, well, wait a minute, they're going to be on site, they're going to be spending X amount of dollars.
Exactly. Yeah, in the bars.
Yeah.
We sometimes need to remind them of that
Yeah.
that they're going to be on your property for 3 days, and there's going to be a lot of spend there.
It's funny, it's like every day's a new day for them. They're like, okay, they're going to negotiate a contract like they never had to negotiate it before. But as long as you got the Terminator, who gets the terms.
Yeah.
Go get them, Karen. All right, we're going to come back with, thanks for being a part of it. We're going to come back and talking with Alicia about what she loves to do is go out there and hit those beaches and get on those cruise ships and help people, have fun while they're sailing the oceans or the seas or the rivers or the ponds. Anyways, we're back more of Crow and Travel after this.